Hello everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video we'll be going through a combination of a unboxing, time-lapse and review of the Batman 1992 Polybag set 30653. So it's been a while since I've done a combination of these little Polybag builds, but I thought why not? It's been a while, it shouldn't take too long, and yeah. And plus this has actually been a bit of an interesting polybag because it is hard to find in the sense of having it in stock. So front of the polybag of Batman 1992, no doubt conveniently released to tie in with the Flash movie that's come out recently. And I do know there is some more Batman releases coming out in the future as well. So good timing to get some Batman sets. So front of the polybag with Batman standing on the corner of a building. I suspect it's supposed to be a bit of a gargoyle feature, but either way, very cool. So that's the front. The back, well, not too much to say about the back. It is a polybag, but you can see there's a manual and there will be a heap of pieces in there. Pretty much just to build that little corner of the building and a gargoyle. So that's the bag side of things done. Time to basically open up the bag, get all the pieces out, and pretty much enjoy the time lapse. Okay, and with the time lapse now done, and I will admit there were some really weird moments with that time lapse. Yes, there were periods I forgot to put pieces down. There was a period where the gargoyle decided to actually go flying, and yeah, time lapses are great. Completely raw and unedited. You just don't get to hear of half the problems. Anyway, so what was in the actual polybag set after all that? So we do have the one sheet of the instructions. We do have a few spare pieces left, and obviously we get the actual final build, which is the Batman minifig, basically standing iconically on the edge of a building top with that nice little gargoyle-esque type Gothic architecture. So, in terms of the instructions, it's definitely nothing too out of the ordinary. Just follow it through. So, step 6, I know I missed that little round stud, which I had to go back and do. Everything else is pretty stock standard, and once again, maybe it's just a round stud. So, I forgot a round stud on the gargoyle, and then proceeded to have some fun and excitement figuring out the correct orientation of the gargoyle on top of the gargoyle flying. So maybe I just have a weird thing with these single grey studs, maybe. But that's pretty much the manual, nothing too overly complex. Very nice. As I mentioned, spare pieces, always nice to have a few. But in terms of the final piece, so here we have Batman on the corner of the building. So that's Batman from the quote-unquote front, side, the back, and the other side. Bit of a close-up of the what is supposed to be that gargoyle stone piece. Obviously Batman himself, who will also be detachable, although I'm sure if I tried to detach him right now, it will detach him with that piece that's on top of the building. Yes, of course. So we'll just do that. So just put that back onto the building. So here's the Batman minifig. Now I will admit I can see why this polybag is very interesting, because this minifig, when you take off the cowl, hood, whatever, so the hood and the back piece are all literally one piece. Really does feel like it's been taken straight out of 1992 film, so that is very incredible. It's a bit of a soft rubber type feel as well, but really that is a really nice piece right there. In terms of the minifig, so he will have two heads as well as that chest detailing as well, which some of which does get covered up. So that's his Batman head because of the white bit pretty much doing his eyes, but if I spin him around, he does have a bit of a smirking face, as well as the back detailing as well, and a batarang. So that is the minifig. Very, very impressive. Very, very cool. Now, because of the way that his cape has been done, if you were just to stand him on his own, I did notice you had to lean him just a little bit forward, because the edge of the cape, especially on this side here, actually does sit on the surface before the actual feet touch down. So if you stand him on his own, just give him a little bit of a forward lean. Now, as for the building corner, so we did have a quick look at it before, pretty much just another look. So how the gargoyle has been done has actually been quite cool. It's quite innovative, and obviously if you saw the movie then you'd have a very good idea of what it's supposed to be, but I do like how they've tried to represent it, especially for a polybag. Otherwise, the little corner piece scenery has been pretty easy to put together, nothing too difficult. I do like how some of the actual brick pieces have been used just to give some of that extra detailing. Otherwise the build itself wasn't difficult at all, and the greys obviously all work together. Putting Batman on the corner piece, not a problem, just affix him to that piece there. You can definitely get rid of some of that lean if you want to. In fact, you can lean him back a bit and have him looking upwards almost. And because of that piece that he's on, you could even swivel him around if you wanted to. We'll just try and keep him in the standard look. So yes, that is pretty much the contents of the Batman 1992 Set 30653 polybag. It is a polybag, so it's not supposed to be overly difficult or complex of a build. It's supposed to be quite simple. I think it took me about 6 minutes, including some of the weird oddities to do. Obviously, could easily take a good 5 minutes if you were a lot more focused. I did try to help the time lapse by just pre-sorting some of the colors. I think that did help. Now, whilst I'm not a huge DC fan, I have always had an appreciation for Batman, particularly the 1992 Michael Keaton version, as well as the Batman animated version, animated series with Kevin Conroy. So they've always been my two preferred Batmans. The others are okay, but those are my two go-to Batmans. Batman Beyond is actually another one I could like, but story for another time. So going back to the Polybag, would I recommend it? I would say yes. If you're definitely a Batman fan, you'll definitely get it, which is probably why it's constantly out of stock. But if you're definitely a Batman of the Michael Keaton era, you will definitely appreciate this little Polybag. And I think for those who like to collect the Batman minifigs, the cape piece alone is probably worth the price of admission. But for me, I do quite like the general aesthetic. Once again, I did actually like the first two Batman movies because I did quite like the general ambience, the presence, and a lot of the the background detail obviously being quite interesting and up my alley. So overall, yes, I would say if you see it, just get it. It is hard to get at this point in time. I kid you not, I literally placed a click and collect order for a single Polybag when it was available. So that goes to show that I will stoop to some weird stupidness to do it. And I'm glad I did, because by the time I picked it up, the Polybag wasn't on the shelves whatsoever. So there you go. Take it from me. If you see it, just get it. It's inexpensive, and it's been a cute little build. And I do want to put him somewhere, just haven't figured out where. But yeah, there you go. That's pretty much a general review of the Polybag set. Yeah, grab it. I think you'll like it. Thank you very much for watching this combined unboxing, time lapse and review video. Feel free to leave a like, a comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. All of this does help support the channel, and I do greatly appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account. There will be a link to that in the description. Otherwise, it's the same name as the channel. With that being said, stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in a future video. Hopefully get a few more time lapses done. Otherwise, I do have a few Lego sets to do some reviews on, as well as churn out a few more. So yeah, that's the plan. See how well I can stick to it. Until the next time, see ya.